ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਲਾਲੀਮਾ ਸ਼ਰਮਾ ਤੇ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਈਲਸ NRI UK ਦੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਵਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਖਾਸ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈ ਨਿਹਾਰਿਕਾ ਰਾਏਜ਼ਾਦਾ, ਜੋ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਐਕਟਰੈਸ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਡਲ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਸ਼ੀ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਮੈਡੀਕਲ ਸਾਇੰਟਿਸਟ ਤੇ ਦੋ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਚਲਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਵੈਲ ਲੈਟ ਮੀ ਟੈਲ ਯੂ ਕਿ ਨਿਹਾਰਿਕਾ ਰਾਏਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਰੀਅਰਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨਾਲ-ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਹੀ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਐਂਬੀਸ਼ਨਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਇੰਸਪਾਇਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਿਹਾਰਿਕਾ ਰਾਏਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਰਨੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਐਂਡ ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਦੋ ਕਰੀਅਰਸ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਨਾਲ ਚਲਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਮੋਸਟ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟਲੀ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਬਿਲਡ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟੇਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਸੋ ਆਓ ਫਿਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਨਿਹਾਰਿਕਾ ਰਾਏਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ।
Welcome to Leicester and welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much. How are you?
Thank you for asking. Let's begin. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I am a Luxembourgish girl with Indian origins. My father came to Luxembourg maybe 55 years ago. He worked for the European Commission. Actually, he came to the UK first and then he got a posting in Luxembourg. And that's how we were born there. And when I was 18, I applied to come to the UK to study. And I applied at Edinburgh, I applied at Hull and York, I applied at Cambridge and Imperial. And I got into Imperial College. I finished my studies and I got a scholarship to go to the States. And with the little bit of money that was left, I went to India. And I've always wanted to go to India. So I am second generation European Indian. But because I spent a considerable amount of time in the UK, a lot of people used to think that I was maybe British Asian, but I wasn't. And then I finally established myself in India in a relatively good way, and it's still growing. I never used my family background when I was here in Europe, but in India, sometimes they say like, you are who you belong to. And I belong to a very interesting family in India.
Heritage or roots from Punjab. Tell us a bit about that.
Originally, my family came from Lahore, Karachi to Amritsar. So a lot of my family used to stay in Amritsar. O.P. Nair's father used to have a pharmacy. And all the sons would live there, play there in Amritsar, and help the father out, make the medicines, distribute the medicines, and then, the marriage was decided. So everything happened in Amritsar, and then some family members shifted to Rajasthan, to Mumbai, to Delhi, so like that. When I went to India for the very first time, I was also a part of the Miss India universe there, and I won this competition where I got to travel 7 cities in India and do fashion catwalks for big designers like Tarun Talyani, Sabyasachi Mukherjee and Manish Malhotra, big designers. During that time, they took me to Jalandhar, Chandigarh and Mohali, but I've never been to Amritsar. I've never been to Amritsar. Despite coming from there, I've never been there, which is a huge disappointment. And it's not even that I just haven't had the chance to go. I've been so busy. I want to go to the Golden Temple in Amritsar. So it's a dream of mine. It'll happen soon. London gave me my first insights into what it means to have an Indian community outside of India. Because in Luxembourg, there were barely 25, maybe 50 families. But in London, there was a community. I mean, you could have your grandparents, your extended family, all living in the same house. It would be a very nice Indian diaspora example. I saw the first time a Sardarji in London for a long time, and I love Sardars. And it was very fascinating to me because in Luxembourg, I've never seen anybody wear a turban. So it was very fascinating to me. And my education system was possibly one of the best things about my life. I owe all my educational merit to the UK, to Imperial College. I even owe my Bollywood beginnings to London, because everybody comes to London. London seems to be the one-stop shop for everybody to pass through if they want to do well in finance, if they want to do well in entrepreneurship, if they want to do well in Bollywood, if they want to do well in investments. London seems to have it all, you know. And I was in the heart of it. I was in South Kensington, Earl's Court, Gloucester Road, Hammersmith. St. Mary's Hospital wasn't too far away, Paddington, Edgware Road. I mean, I was as close to the heart of London as one can get. And I got my first experience of a Bollywood set, and my very first time that I was put on camera in London. So London means a lot to me. And I became Miss India UK whilst I was studying, which was really interesting because obviously I was a European girl living in London, but they still crowned me, and that gave me a beautiful insight into the British Asian culture.
Why you choose study medicine?
Because I love the subject. I could have easily studied languages. I had a very conscious mind not to study art. I thought art is something one has to live. And I was constantly performing, singing, dancing, being on stage, learning all sorts of dance forms, music. So I said, art, I'm not going to physically go and academically study. But it would either have been languages, diplomacy, because I am good at it and I like it, or medicine, or psychology. And I think medicine kind of encompasses everything, I mean, it had the medical anatomy, like treatment part, but it also just gives you a sense of who you are as a person. Like, you understand the atom by atom or the micro aspect of who you are. And I'm very curious about the human body and the human being. And I was also a very caring, empathetic person towards my own family for their bedside problems. I was always at people's bedsides. So I thought I was made for that, But I remember when I did my interview at Imperial College, I told them very clearly that, I have a lot to me and I may only end up doing research. This was my very first time that I had my interaction with Imperial, and they were very surprised by what I told them. And they said, well, research is something that we encourage, which is why I got my conditional offer.
What inspired you to going into beauty pageant?
I think the whole idea about getting that limelight and spotlight in a way which kind of, at that time, Miss India UK platform was something which was holistic. It kind of looked at all your qualities. It didn't just look at the glamour or the body hip to waist ratio and how tall you were. It was like a personality test, so to speak, on a larger public platform. And I guess I wanted to offer that to the world. Anyway, like I had this ideas about going into the big showbiz world and cinema and entertainment. And I thought it was a good stepping stone. It was a good platform to showcase your skills at a wider audience. And when I became Miss India UK, I was, being called to perform at Hammersmith. There's like a stadium there or a stage. I was called, and suddenly I was in the limelight for entertainment because people were assuming that that's what I wanted to do. And it was a nice feeling, And I also like to want to represent something to do with India. I didn't get a chance growing up. In my family, we had 3 kids, but I am extremely pro-India, India-oriented. And I have proven that in my family, that I have gone back to India. I'm doing work with India. So I wanted to have a title which represented my association with India.
Other shake in your career, study medicine successfully, and then from medicine to jump into entertainment world. How that happened?
I've always been a performer, Romil, always. I mean, I think I was 3, 4, 5 years when I would take the chair and shake it and dance. And my mother would say that this woman doesn't stop moving. This girl is just a constant bundle of energy and she's just constantly shaking and moving and dancing. And the moment I could emulate singing, I was singing, recording on tapes. I would record myself again and again and again. I've had this. It's inherent. It really, a lot of people say that the family that I belong to, their DNA was also God-gifted, right? I'm not saying that my talent is God-gifted because you have to really harness it and you have to really polish it. But there was something inside of me that made me always believe that I wanted to be a movie star. And that has always been there in my brain and in my psyche. And I've been very laser sharp focused about that. It takes a certain kind of journey to become one. Either you get given that path or you make it on your own. So I chose the latter. I made my own path. But I always felt it. And I thought I was a performer. I thought I was an entertainer. And I thought I was a movie star. Like literally, I would imagine myself to be a movie star. So I attempted. And I managed to go over the border. But I didn't yet achieve the kind of level of work I would want to do. That's all.
At the same time, you are also very active health campaigner. Why is so important for you health campaigns?
Because it matters to people. Since I used my platform from Miss India UK to champion British Heart Foundation initiatives, national heart and lung initiatives, anti-smoking campaigns, cardiovascular disease awarenesses. I went to America to work with Pulmonary Hypertension Association guys. I always used my popularity to always add on a philanthropic initiative, always have that thing add on, because what is life if you're not involved in the social aspect of it, or you don't have an impact, a true impact of how you're kind of affecting the society. That is a meaningless life. That is an absolute meaningless life. You can't be so selfish. Showmanship, entertainment, and movie star business is a very selfish business. I cannot purely run on that. I have to have something else to give to society, to be for the society. So that's my medical part, and I will always do it till my dying, day. I am planning now to build hospitals, so I'm very active in medicine. I just don't need to tell one hand what the other hand is doing. It's as simple as that. The first time that I got captured on the big screen is with Priyadarshan in a movie called Bhagam Bhag, and it was shot in London with Akshay Kumar and Govinda and Tanushree Datta and all of those people. And then after that, I did a Bengali film, Damadol, in Kolkata. I did Warrior Savitri with Om Puri ji and Gulshan Grover. I did Total Dhamal with Sanjay Mishra, Ajay Devgan, Madhuri Dixit, Anil Kapoor, Arshad Varsi, Javed Jafri. I did so many films after that. And my last film is a film called Mercy, which is an independent cinema with Adil Hussain and Raj Vasudeva. So, yeah, the first time was in London.
You just mentioned Badman. How's your experience working with Badman?
He's great. He's always been a supporter. He's known me since my London days. I met him in London for the very first time. And he knows me till today. So he's one of the people who's seen my journey. And Anupam ji is also one of those people who's seen my journey, because I met them in London. I didn't meet them in India. And so they really have seen how I've worked. I don't know if they acknowledge it or if they understand it, but I know that they know about it, because even Govinda, for that matter, Govinda saw me in London and has also seen my journey.
How's your experience working with Om Puri?
Working with Om Puri was incredible. He's a great talent. And he because of him, or because of that movie, I got to go to Las Vegas for the first time. I got to go to San Francisco for the first time. So, it was pretty cool. But just being with him, and it was one of his last films, actually. So, bless. He's no more now, but he was very friendly to me. Used to ask me for my food preferences, feed me a lot of fish, introduce me to his whole family, his son, his wife. So I was very close to the family. But what a jolly, gracious, elegant, and a phenomenal actor. Like an actor which, when you talk about realism, naturalism, you don't get better than that. So I got to learn from the best. That way I'm very fortunate. And he was kind enough to even promote me in the film industry before he passed away. He did a huge press conference and he was present and he spoke good words.
Your journey is very interesting, from medicine to dance academy to the big television screen to the big screen. So why is so important, and where do you find the time to setting up entertainment business?
My entertainment business came out of spite. it out of an experience I had, and I was extremely angry. And I won't go into it again. I've said it on a couple of platforms now, but it happened because somebody really made me very angry, and Raizada Entertainments was born out of that. And it's good. Sometimes you need certain people to make you feel something that pushes you so far. And to be very honest with you, actors need to also make movies for themselves and also be their own champion at times. Nearly all actors that you've seen who've grown to the level that they've grown, be it Shah Rukh Khan, be it Akshay Kumar, be it Ajay Devgan, they've all got their own independent production houses. For that matter, someone like Kangana, even now Alia Bhatt, they all have their own personal production houses. And I think it's important for an actor who's serious about the business and who knows about the business, not just serious about it, but knows, I know about production, which is why I got into it. And yeah, I mean, I hope to make some good films. A few I'll star in, a few I'll do for the talent that exists, that need a chance to be showcased. You know, someone asked me the other day, it's a very lonely journey. You feel very alone at times, you know, because I've not been supported, you know, like how people get supported. And somebody else asked me this, and I told them that at times I feel that I'm working for myself so hard. Like, I'm my own manager, I'm my own, you know, at times you feel tired, you get exhausted. So exhaustion and loneliness, I think about it, but I don't dwell on it. And I'm very active and I am very positive. So I think that kind of counteracts the loneliness and the lack of sometimes members or people around you, because I don't have that much fluff around me all the time. I mean, I'm building my teams slowly and slowly, but the journey till now has been very independent journey. I don't have mentors who back me. I don't have financiers who are always there for me. I have help from time to time. So it's not constant. And that journey is difficult. It's what they call the struggle. The struggle is real. It's really real. At least in my case, it's realer than real. But I am very sure about where I'm going. I'm very sure about that. So nobody can compromise. So I said this another time as well. Nobody can compromise with that. I don't compromise with it. Neither does my vision compromise with my own focus. So I will get to where I want to, because it's a very lonely environment. And if you are not resilient, if you can't take it being alone, if you can't take rejection, if you're not thick-skinned, eventually it's going to get to you and it's going to give you mental health problems. And at that point, who's going to back you if your parents have also given you so much advice not to do it? So either you have to be an extremely, extremely strong-willed person and somebody who knows that mental health is not going to be disrupted or affected. Then you can go ahead and do anything in your life. Entertainment business is just one such thing, because there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of bitching, backbiting, and some people say something to your face, something else behind you. So how are you going to deal with that if you're someone who's very fragile? So you can't really be a fragile person for the film industry. So if you're not fragile, thick-skinned, ready to take all sorts of nonsense, say that it's worth a try. It's worth a try. It's always worth a try.
Thank you so much, Mitti.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much.
ਤੇ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਨਿਹਾਰਿਕਾ ਰਾਇਜ਼ਾਦਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੈਰੀਅਰ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਆਪਣੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ, ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਨਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਮੁਕਾਮ ਹਾਸਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ। ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੇਂ ਇਵੈਂਟਸ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਈਲਜ਼ NRI UK।